love this comic book, The Walking Dead, Book 21. Dale and Tyreese are naturally excited about their discovery when they hear Alan scream for a second time. They rush to find out if everything is okay. Alan is panicking while Rick tries to calm him down. Alan tells Rick to take care of his boys, but Rick tells him not to talk like that. They'll think of something. Rick asks Axel to help him carry Alan out of the block. Soon enough, Dale and Tyreese arrive to help. Alan continues to panic, saying that he can feel the infection spreading up his leg. Rick tells him that's not how it works, before getting an idea. Once outside, they set Alan down on the floor as the wounded man passes out. Rick wants to cut off his leg, as he thinks it's the only chance they have at stopping the infection from spreading. Tyreese protests, thinking that Rick will just torture a dying man. Despite this, Rick cuts Alan's leg off at the knee to save him from infection. Herschel then saves Alan's life by cutting a piece of Axel's hair and tying it to Alan's arteries to stop him from bleeding to death. Alan passes out once more and is carried to an empty cell to rest. Carl and Sophia look at the walkers at the fence while holding hands. Carl asks if Sophia is scared of them, but she claims she isn't anymore and now just feels sorry for them because they look sad. They are interrupted by Alan being rushed into the cell block. Otis is praying in his cell before he hears all the commotion of Alan being rushed in. Tyreese orders him to get some towels as well as soap and water, much to Otis's annoyance. Lori and Carol are talking when Rick arrives and informs them that Alan was hurt. While Carol rushes to see him, Lori doesn't bother, as it's nothing she hasn't seen before. Carol arrives to see Alan weak from blood loss. He asks Andrea to take care of Ben and Billy, but she assures him he'll be fine. Andrea explains that Rick cut off Alan's foot because Alan was bit, shocking Carol. Carol asks where Tyreese is, and Dale informs her that he went to the gym to blow off some steam. Meanwhile, Tyreese is playing basketball when he is greeted by Michonne, who was impressed he plays so many sports. Tyreese reminds her he was terrible at football, but Michonne flirtatiously says she's sure he's good at a lot of things. Tyreese is stressed about the events that occurred that day, specifically about Rick and the look in his eyes when he cut off Alan's foot. Michonne stops him by seductively putting her finger on his lips and tells him she knows what he needs. She proceeds to do something below the belt, and Carol witnesses this through the gym window. After having sex in the security room, Maggie is ready for more, but Glenn asks her to snuggle instead, as they've been at it for hours, and Maggie agrees while teasing him. After flirting for a bit, Glenn wonders if they should check in with the group, but Maggie rejects this idea. Later in the prison, Michonne is having a conversation with someone. Andrea greets Michonne and asks who she's talking to, as there's no one in her cell. The discovery of the generator is exciting, but do they have any fuel to get it to work? Alan's bite is the big news in this book. The cell block they were in was dark. Rick at least understands it's not the bite that turns you into a zombie, it's the dying part. But I'm confused that he keeps going on about an infection. The zombies are disgusting, and the infection would be from zombie grossness. The bacteria that they are carrying gets into the bloodstream via bite, and that causes death. That's probably the infection he's talking about. Once dead, woo, has zombie. Everyone reacts differently to Rick cutting off Alan's leg. If Alan doesn't die of infection, fever, sepsis, septic shock, or blood loss, then it will prove getting bitten by a zombie is equal to getting an infection, and stopping the infection stops the zombification process. I am not sure that Alan has enough fight left in him. Lori doesn't seem to care. Some people still don't know. Carol is horrified. Herschel seems to understand what Rick was trying to accomplish and help stop the bleeding. Michonne's actions with Tyreese in the gym, that took me by surprise. She had to have seen, based on how Carol and Tyreese were in the gym, that the two are together. I don't think she would think that monogamy is over and done, or maybe she took a different viewpoint and doesn't think Carol and Tyreese should be together. I have no idea if either person knows that Carol saw everything. I don't see this ending well. Michonne is in her cell having a conversation with someone who's not there. Is it just a conversation with her imagination? Does she have schizophrenia? A multiple personality disorder? Is she pretending a loved one is not dead and having a conversation with them? I'm not sure what to think. Thanks for tuning in to the I Love This Comic Book podcast. If you would like to make a donation in support of this podcast, you can through Cash App to Pasta26MC. That's pasta like the food, the number 2, the number 6, M as in monkey, C as in cat. If you would like to sponsor this podcast or advertise on it, please send an email to podcast@pastasworld.com. As always, you can go to pastasworld.com for more information.